Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. Now my opening statement. You know, there's only one person who can keep Americans safe. And although it may have happened in another part of the world, it has crystallized an issue confronting us and will ultimately determine who moves into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in 2017. The ripples from the crash of Egypt Air Flight 804 have reached our shores and teed up the question, who will keep us safe? Take a listen to the contenders.
Do you think that Donald Trump is qualified to be president?
No, I do not.
She is so ill-equipped to be the president.
Now, to be clear, the cause of the flight's demise is yet undetermined. But each of the contenders has said the probable cause is terrorism. Trump tweets at 6:27 a.m., hours after the plane vanishes, looks like yet another terrorist attack. More than 7 hours after Trump's tweet, Hillary says it does appear that it was an act of terrorism. Now, I suspect the 7-hour or more than 7-hour difference reflects either Hillary's need to sleep late or to gauge the political winds. Now, economy is the #1 issue, terror #2. But I would venture a guess even more important than money for most is safety. So who will keep us safer? The polls, almost even a week ago, show most trust Donald Trump to do a better job than Hillary on terrorism. But each one of them says that we're safer with him or her. So where's the truth? Let's take a walk down memory lane, shall we? In spite of their protestations, the world is a more dangerous place since Barack Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton came to power. The so-called Arab Spring, sold as a refreshing movement toward democracy, was nothing more than a volcanic eruption, leaving a vacuum that barbaric medieval Islamists ran to fill. Now, Madam Secretary, you cannot deny it was you who lobbied for the overthrow of Libyan President Gaddafi, creating a descent into chaos and a welcome mat to terrorists. It was you, Madam Secretary, who didn't protect Ambassador Chris Stevens, instead responding to your so-called friend's plea for more security by actually reducing his security. And it was you who left Americans at that consulate when the Brits left and the Red Cross left because everybody else knew it was too dangerous. It was you who lied about a video when you told your own daughter that same night that it was an al-Qaeda-like attack in Benghazi. And you have the audacity to say the parents of those killed are basically liars when they repeated what you said. But then again, you talk a big game about terrorism.
Once again, shines a very bright light on the threats that we face from organized terror groups. ISIS, of course, but then there are other networks of terrorists that have to be hunted down and defeated.
You're going to hunt them down? Hillary, how long do your hunts take? Who's been brought to justice in the attack in Benghazi? And your doublespeak for the last 7.5 years. When a shooter yells Allahu Akbar and kills Americans at Fort Hood, we're supposed to call it workplace violence. And after Benghazi, the word Islamic is removed from the term Islamic extremist because we don't want to inflame their anger, as if they don't already want to kill us. By the way, Hillary, why haven't you taken a clear position on the release of those 28 sealed pages in the 9/11 Commission report that discusses Saudi Arabia's role? Could it be because the Persian Gulf states, notorious for their own human rights violations, and their leaders reportedly donated as much as $100 million to your family's so-called charity? Question: why would these Arabs give money to the Clintons instead of helping those in their own countries? After all, Hillary, charity doesn't begin at the Clinton Foundation. It begins at home. And you're going to keep us safe? Your own State Department's refugee program can't even vet refugees coming here. And what's that? All those are only words? You have everyone so fearful of being called an Islamophobe that ordinary Americans didn't report suspicious deliveries at the home of the Islamic terrorists who killed 14 in San Bernardino. And you're going to keep us safe, Hillary? Hell, you can't even keep top-secret intelligence on your BlackBerry without Russia, China, and a Romanian hacker accessing it. So how can you keep us safe when you speak a different language from ordinary Americans? How can you keep us safe when you can't even say who the enemy is? It's not violent extremists. It's not terrorists. It's Islamic extremists. It's Islamic terrorists. And you can't mouth the words. Say it. Say it. But you won't. This isn't a parlor game, and not one for the faint of heart. So go back to bed, Hillary. There's someone else who's going to protect us. And that's my open. Tell me what you think on my Facebook page or Twitter, hashtag Judge Jeanine.